This audiobook, Thank You, Universe, has been waiting for you. You'll learn how thanking the universe opens you to the abundance even when your bank account says otherwise. And you'll discover how living in gratitude now aligns you with true abundance. Thank you, universe. Introduction. Gratitude is often treated like a footnote in the conversation about manifestation, something nice to do after the universe delivers. But what if it's not the afterthought? What if it's the engine? To say thank you is to declare, I already have, I already am, I already believe. Gratitude is not a reaction, it's a vibration, a frequency that tunes your entire being to receive. In that single phrase, thank you, universe, you signal to the field of infinite potential that you're no longer begging or hoping. You're aligned. Modern neuroscience shows us that elevated emotions like gratitude create measurable changes in brainwave patterns and heart coherence. Spiritual traditions from scripture to mysticism echo the same truth. When you give thanks in advance, you collapse time. You become the prayer already answered. This book is your journey into that space. You'll discover how to feel gratitude even before your desire manifests, and how that very feeling draws it in. You'll explore how gratitude heals the nervous system, attracts synchronicity, and shifts your core identity from lack to love. This is not a book of empty platitudes. This is a manual for rewiring your perception, reshaping your emotions, and realigning with the divine intelligence that responds to your frequency, not your words. So whether you're here to manifest a dream, heal a wound, or simply reconnect to the beauty of life itself, welcome. The path begins with two sacred words. Thank you. Chapter 1. Gratitude is a frequency. You are not a body reaching for the divine. You are frequency choosing its form. Every thought you think, every feeling you generate emits a signal. And the universe, infinite and intelligent, mirrors that signal back in kind. Gratitude is not just an emotion. It is a frequency, an electromagnetic broadcast of abundance, coherence, and trust. When you feel grateful, you're not just being polite. You're shifting your entire energetic signature. You're telling the universe, I already have what I need. And in response, the universe says, then here it is. Most people wait to feel thankful until life gives them something worthy of thanks. But manifestation begins when you flip that script. When you feel the feeling before the thing shows up. When you tune your energy to already having. That's when miracles happen. Not as rewards, but as reflections. The science of signal. Let's get grounded for a moment. Studies in neuroscience have shown that feelings of gratitude activate the brain's reward centers, reduce cortisol levels, and increase heart rate variability, a marker of emotional resilience and well-being. Dr. Joe Dispenza refers to gratitude as the ultimate state of receivership, because when you're thankful, your body is no longer in survival. You're no longer fighting, grasping, or fearing. You're ready. And readiness is magnetic. Your heart, electrically and magnetically, is far more powerful than your brain. When you're in a state of elevated emotion, like gratitude, your heart begins to emit a coherent signal. That signal affects your entire nervous system, synchronizing it with higher order thinking, intuition, and flow. In this state, you're not chasing life. You're aligned with it. The spiritual echo. Spiritual texts have always known what science is now proving. To him who has, more will be given, says the scripture. Not because the universe is unfair, but because having is a state of being, and gratitude is the doorway into that state. Neville Goddard taught that we must live from the end. Imagine the wish fulfilled. Feel it real. And what's the most natural feeling once your prayer has been answered? Gratitude. When you're grateful in advance, you're living as though your manifestation is already done. You're not testing the universe. You're affirming reality from the inside out. Frequency over force. This is why so many people struggle with affirmations, vision boards, or endless visualizations. They're trying to manifest from a place of internal resistance. They're trying to force a reality from a state of fear or lack. But you can't trick the universe. You can't ask for abundance while vibrating scarcity. Gratitude bypasses the mental noise. It softens the ego and aligns your being with a higher truth, that you are already whole, already worthy, already seen. And in that state, your desires don't chase you down. They find you effortlessly. Now close your eyes, breathe into your heart, and whisper silently, "Thank you, universe." Now imagine something you've been desiring, not as a wish, but as a memory. It already happened. You already received it. You're holding it in your hands, living in its joy, surrounded by its presence. Now feel the wave of gratitude that would arise from that fulfillment. Stay there. Let your body remember what it's like to be in receivership. That feeling, that's the frequency. Chapter 2. Feeling it before it's real. Manifestation isn't about waiting. It's about remembering. Remembering a future your heart already knows. And gratitude is the bridge. When you say thank you before the miracle arrives, you're not pretending. You're aligning. You're tuning into the reality where it's already yours, and you're doing it not with hope, but with presence. That's the secret the mystics knew, and that modern creators are now rediscovering. To feel the reality before it's real is to make it real. The universe doesn't speak English. It speaks energy. And the energy of thank you says, "I have already received." Neville Goddard and the assumption of the wish fulfilled. Neville Goddard didn't teach wishful thinking. He taught embodied belief, living from the end. Not, "I hope I'll get the job," but "Thank you for the job that's already mine." Not, "I wish I could find love," but "Thank you for the love I now experience." To live from the end is to generate the emotional reality first. You assume the role, you walk in the identity, and most importantly, you feel the truth of the outcome before it arrives. This isn't delusion, it's creation. Every feeling you rehearse becomes a signal you emit. And the universe, being exact and energetic, doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. The brain doesn't know the difference. This is where science meets spirituality. Neuroscientific studies have revealed that the brain cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. The same neural pathways fire, the same chemicals release, the same patterns of perception form. So when you sit down, close your eyes and feel the joy of your dream fulfilled. When you breathe in the abundance, the healing, the reunion, the success, you are not fantasizing. You are reprogramming. You are making the unseen familiar, and the unfamiliar inevitable. Dr. Joe Dispenza calls this installing the memory of the future. You condition your body and subconscious to believe the future has already occurred, and the moment you believe it, you stop chasing it. You start magnetizing it. Gratitude is the emotional signature of fulfillment. Why gratitude? Because it's the natural emotion that follows receiving. When you get what you deeply desire, what's the first thing you feel? Relief, joy, love, but most of all, thankfulness. By practicing gratitude in advance, you create a loop, a feedback signal between your present self and your future outcome. Gratitude becomes the proof you believe, the proof you trust. And in the language of creation, trust is currency. You don't need to manipulate outcomes. You only need to manage your state. The daily ritual, past tense gratitude. Here's a simple practice. Each morning or evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for, but write them as if they've already happened, even if they haven't. Thank you for the perfect new apartment with so much light and peace. Thank you for the unexpected money that arrived right when I needed it. Thank you for the healing in my body that has restored my energy and strength. Write slowly. Feel deeply. Let your nervous system absorb the emotional truth. Let your cells learn what it feels like to have it. This is not journaling. It's reality coding. You become what you feel is real. Feeling is the secret. Not just thinking, not just saying, but generating an inner experience so strong that the outside world must catch up. So close your eyes now and step into your future self, the one who already received the blessing. What does your body feel like? What are you doing differently? Who are you grateful for? And what are you giving back? Let the emotion rise, even if it feels like imagination, because imagination is the womb of all reality, and the moment you feel the thanks, you begin to receive. Chapter 3. Receiving the Now. If the last chapter taught us anything, it's that gratitude doesn't wait for evidence. It creates it. But what about this moment right now? The one where you're still becoming, still reaching, still in between the desire and its manifestation? That's where most people lose their power, because they forget one sacred truth. You don't receive in the future. You receive in the now. We think manifestations will come one day when the time is right, or after I've done enough. But the universe doesn't operate on human clocks. It responds to your vibration in this moment, and the energy of wanting is not the same as the energy of having. Gratitude teaches us how to stop wanting and start receiving. Gratitude anchors you to presence. In Chapter 2, we practiced giving thanks as though the desire was already fulfilled. But here's the paradox. You don't access that future version of yourself by mentally projecting forward. You access it by sinking into the fullness of now. Gratitude is the bridge not only to what you want, but to what you already have but may have overlooked. It opens your eyes. It softens your grip. It dissolves the illusion that anything is missing. Try this. Look around. Breathe. Feel into the space you're sitting in. What if this moment, this breath, was already sacred? The mind chases what's next, but the heart whispers, this is it. Receiving is not waiting. We're conditioned to believe that receiving is passive, that we must sit around and wait for life to hand us blessings. But receiving is an active state of being. It's the art of making space, of opening the channel, of stepping out of control and into flow. Gratitude makes you receptive, not because it earns blessings, but because it tunes your nervous system to recognize them. So many people miss their manifestations, not because they didn't arrive, but because they were too distracted to see them. To be present is to be available. The end of not yet. There's a subtle lie most of us live by. I'll feel good when. I'll be happy when I'm in a relationship. I'll be confident when I have more money. I'll be free when I finally quit this job. But every time we say, "not yet," we push the blessing further away. The universe doesn't give us what we want someday. It mirrors our dominant state right now. Gratitude dismantles the illusion of "not yet." It trains your body to feel now what your mind thinks is coming later. And in doing so, you collapse time. As we learned in Chapter 2, your brain doesn't care if the experience is real or rehearsed. If you feel the joy, the safety, the love now, you create the neurological and energetic environment for those experiences to become real. The present is the portal. The mystics always pointed to the same doorway, the present. Eckhart Tolle called it the power of now. Scripture says, "This is the day the Lord has made." Neville said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persist in it." All are saying the same thing. This moment is the only place where creation happens. So instead of living in, "I hope it's coming," live in, "I'm open now. I feel it now. I receive it now." Because you are never preparing to receive. You are either receiving now or postponing it. Pause. Place one hand on your heart. Feel your chest rise and fall. Now think of 3 small things in your life you normally take for granted. Clean water, a warm blanket, the sound of wind outside your window. Whisper softly, "Thank you." Not because those things are flashy, but because they are available. And what is available is always sacred. To truly receive the big things, you must be grateful for the small ones, not as a strategy, but as a way of being. Because when you receive the now receives you. And from there, everything else flows. Chapter 4. Gratitude Mirrors the Universe. In Chapter 3, we entered the present moment as the portal to receiving. We learned that gratitude doesn't just bring peace, it unlocks presence. But what happens when presence becomes your default? When thankfulness is no longer a technique, but your natural rhythm? The answer is this: the universe begins to reflect it all back. Because this universe doesn't respond to your effort. It responds to your energy. And your energy is shaped not by what you do occasionally, but by what you believe consistently. Gratitude is a belief in motion. It is the energetic signal that says, "I trust, I know, I receive," and that signal is always heard. Reality as a mirror. This is one of the most ancient spiritual teachings. The outer world is a mirror of the inner world. Jesus said, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Hermetic philosophy calls it the law of correspondence. As within, so without. And Neville Goddard made it personal. Your assumptions shape your world. But assumptions are not only thoughts, they're emotional tones. And gratitude is one of the highest, most magnetic tones you can hold. Imagine standing in front of a mirror and frowning at it, hoping to see a smile reflected back. That's what most people do with life. They project frustration, fear, and resistance, and then wonder why the world won't reflect joy, love, or abundance. But the mirror doesn't lie. It only echoes. So the question becomes, what are you echoing into the field? Forced gratitude versus embodied gratitude. Not all gratitude is created equal. There's a kind that's forced, used like a trick or transaction. If I say thank you, maybe the universe will finally give me what I want. This kind of gratitude isn't gratitude at all. It's fear wearing a mask. Embodied gratitude, on the other hand, doesn't bargain. It doesn't chase. It simply feels, genuinely, abundantly, unapologetically. It says, even before I see it, I already trust that it's mine. I am thankful because I am aligned. When gratitude is felt with the whole body, when your nervous system relaxes, your breath slows, your chest expands, that's when the mirror shifts. That's when new timelines become visible. That's when life bends. The mirror starts with you. Here's the deeper truth. The universe doesn't just mirror what you want. It mirrors what you believe you deserve. So ask yourself gently, do I believe I'm worthy of ease? Do I believe I'm safe to receive? Do I truly believe life can support me without constant effort? If your answer is yes, gratitude will flow naturally. If your answer is no, gratitude will feel blocked. Not because the universe is withholding, but because part of you is. In those moments, the mirror shows you your work, not to punish, but to invite. Every trigger is a teacher. Every delay is a reflection. Every silence is a space asking, what do you really believe? Realigning the inner world. When life feels stuck or stagnant, don't rush to take action. Return inward. Ask, what am I reflecting into the field right now? Am I grateful? Or am I grasping? Am I trusting? Or am I controlling? Gratitude is the reset, the recalibration, the frequency shift. You don't need to force life to move. You only need to realign your signal, and the mirror must respond. Remember what Chapter 2 taught us. Your brain and body believe what you feel is real. So when you radiate thankfulness, you become the version of you that already has it. The mirror adjusts accordingly. A daily reminder. Each morning, before touching your phone, try this. Look into your own eyes in the mirror. Not just a glance, a moment. And say softly, thank you for being here. Thank you for becoming. I love what you're creating. You're not speaking to your reflection. You're speaking to your field. You're imprinting gratitude not only into your body, but into the very blueprint of your reality. Because the universe is listening, not to your words, but to your vibration. And when your gratitude is real, the reflection becomes undeniable. Chapter 5. Breaking Lack with Thanks. In Chapter 4, we explored how the universe reflects the energy we carry. The mirror of reality cannot lie. It simply returns the frequency we broadcast. But what if that reflection keeps showing struggle, scarcity, or stagnation? That's when we must ask, what unspoken signal of lack am I still holding on to? Because before gratitude can amplify abundance, it must first break the cycle of lack. Lack isn't just about money. It's a vibration, a lens, a way of seeing the world as insufficient, unkind, or against you. And the danger of living in lack is not only what it blocks, but what it attracts. The more you feel you don't have, the more evidence life brings to prove you right. Gratitude is how you break that cycle, not by fixing the outer world, but by changing your perception of what's already present. Lack is learned, and it can be unlearned. No child is born feeling unworthy. We learn lack through comparison, punishment, trauma, or neglect. We're taught to believe we must earn love, struggle for support, or compete for resources. And once those beliefs settle into the subconscious, they begin to run the show. But here's the powerful news. Gratitude rewires the story. When you begin to give thanks for things you once overlooked, sunlight on your skin, water in your hands, the fact that your heart beats without you trying, you start to realize that you are, and always have been, held. This shift creates new neurological patterns. It calms the survival brain and activates your receiving state. In this way, gratitude becomes a spiritual intervention. It interrupts the story of lack and replaces it with one of provision. The scarcity loop. Lack doesn't just whisper, "You don't have enough." It also says, "You are not enough. You need more to be safe. If someone else wins, you lose." This scarcity loop keeps you in constant comparison and inner pressure. It's why, even with physical comfort, many still feel empty. Because lack is not about your environment, it's about your identity. And the only way to dissolve an identity built on deficiency is to replace it with one built on sufficiency. Gratitude is that new identity's voice. Where lack says, "It's not enough," gratitude says, "Look again." Where lack says, "I have to earn it," gratitude says, "It's already mine." Where lack says, "I'll be happy when," gratitude whispers, "You're already home." The rewiring ritual. Let's get practical. When you feel scarcity creeping in, try this. Notice the signal. What triggered the sense of not enough? Name the pattern. Is it financial fear? Fear of being forgotten? Feeling behind in life? Interrupt with thanks. Say, "Even now, I am provided for. Thank you, universe, for what I cannot yet see." This is not toxic positivity. It's not ignoring difficulty. It's choosing a new filter. It's building a bridge out of the state of lack into a state of possibility. As we explored in Chapter 3, the now is all you ever truly have. So when you express thanks in this moment, even in uncertainty, you're opening a portal to new outcomes. You're no longer vibrating from fear. You're resonating with trust, using gratitude to disarm envy and impatience. Two symptoms of lack that often go unnoticed are envy and impatience. Envy says, "Why them, not me?" Impatience says, "Why not yet?" Both are rooted in the belief that the universe has forgotten you. But here's the truth. The universe doesn't forget. It responds. So the antidote to envy is celebration. When someone else receives their blessing, bless it with your words. "Thank you, universe, for showing me what's possible." The antidote to impatience is presence. Every delay is divine design. When timing feels off, say, "Thank you for the alignment I can't yet understand." Gratitude removes the poison from these moments. It turns emotional triggers into tuning forks, guiding you back to your highest frequency. A reminder: you don't need to fix your life to feel grateful. You need to feel grateful, and your life begins to reflect that truth. Because lack is loud, but gratitude is louder. Lack is learned, but gratitude is natural. Lack is the illusion. Gratitude is the frequency that breaks the spell. Say it with me now. Thank you, universe. I am already provided for. Chapter 6. Unlocking Hidden Doors. By now, you've seen the pattern. In Chapter 2, you learned to feel gratitude before the manifestation, aligning yourself with your future reality. In Chapter 3, you stepped into the power of the now, receiving what is. In Chapter 4, we revealed that reality mirrors your inner world. And in Chapter 5, gratitude helped you dismantle the hidden stories of lack. But what happens when you live in this frequency long enough? What happens when gratitude becomes your home base? Doors begin to open. Doors you never even knew existed. Gratitude isn't just spiritual hygiene. It's a compass to the miraculous. It moves you into timelines that logic can't plan for. You become magnetic, not by chasing outcomes, but by radiating alignment. This chapter is about the unexpected, how gratitude unlocks the doors you didn't knock on, answers the prayers you didn't speak aloud, and delivers blessings in ways your mind couldn't predict. Gratitude makes you available for the unexpected. Most people limit the universe with their specifics. They say, I want this exact job. I must meet this kind of person. The money should come from this source. And in doing so, they narrow the field of infinite possibility into a box small enough for the ego to understand. Gratitude breaks that box. When you say, "Thank you, universe," with no attachment to how or when, you become receptive. You let go of the need to control the route and allow life to take its own intelligent shape. And it will, always. You'll walk through a door that leads to a hallway you didn't expect. You'll get a no that becomes the yes you truly needed. You'll meet someone by chance who connects you to everything. This is not random. This is resonance. Life responds to openness, not obsession. Control is not clarity, it's fear. And when fear grips your path, your vision narrows. You miss the very signs, opportunities, and encounters that were meant for you. Gratitude restores the wide lens. It softens your gaze. It whispers, "I don't need to know the how. I trust the becoming." And in that trust, you walk differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself like someone who's already been chosen. That energy opens doors, not because it's perfect, but because it's magnetic. The spiritual password gratitude is not just a feeling. It's a frequency that acts like a spiritual password. When you walk in gratitude, you gain access to levels of reality not available to lower states of consciousness. You start to notice the nudges, the gentle signs, the repeating numbers, the quiet whispers that say, "Go here, talk to them, pause right now." Some call this intuition, others call it flow. But make no mistake, it begins with thanks. When your energy is grateful, you're no longer forcing life, you're flowing with it. And in that flow, the universe begins to reveal the hidden map, testimonies of the unplanned. Think back. How many of your life's most beautiful experiences were things you planned perfectly? Most likely, they arrived when you were simply open, when you stopped gripping the steering wheel and allowed the path to reveal itself. That's not coincidence. That's coherence. A grateful person radiates coherence, harmony between heart, brain, body, and spirit. And this harmony doesn't just feel good. It informs reality. It tells the field, "I'm ready for alignment. Surprise me." And the universe, always listening, always watching, begins to respond, not with random events, but with divine orchestration. People show up. Ideas flow. Timing aligns, not because you forced it, but because you matched it. Practice the open door mantra. Here's a powerful tool to try when things feel uncertain or stuck. Each morning, place your feet on the floor. Take a deep breath. Put one hand on your heart and say aloud, "Thank you, universe, for the doors I cannot yet see. Thank you for making a way where I thought there was none. Thank you for what's already moving toward me." This shifts your focus from limitation to expansion. It tells the mirror of reality, "I am willing. I am listening. I am open." And the doors, silent, sacred, unseen, begin to unlock. Because when you stop needing to control everything, everything begins to find you. Chapter 7. Morning Gratitude, Morning Magic. By now, you've felt it. Gratitude is more than a feeling. It's a frequency that transforms your state, rewires your perception, and invites unseen blessings. In Chapter 6, we explored how gratitude unlocks hidden doors and opens pathways beyond logic. But here's the secret to sustaining that flow. You must choose it daily. And there's no more powerful time to choose than the morning. Because your morning is not just the start of your day. It's the calibration of your energy. It's when your subconscious mind is most impressionable. It's when your vibration sets the tone for what the universe reflects back to you. So the question becomes, what are you broadcasting before the world even speaks to you? The science of the first hour. In the first 30 to 60 minutes after you wake, your brain is in a theta alpha state, a sweet spot between subconscious receptivity and conscious awareness. This is where old programs can be rewritten and new intentions planted. If you grab your phone and scroll first thing, you're handing your vibration over to the noise of the world. But if you breathe, connect, and give thanks, you become the creator. You move from reaction to alignment. Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches that elevated emotions practiced early in the day set the body and brain into a coherent state, making you more resilient, creative, and energetically magnetic. Gratitude, specifically, signals to your nervous system that you are safe to receive. And when your body feels safe, your field expands. Your morning is your magnet. Gratitude. In the morning is not just a ritual, it's an energetic declaration. This day is already sacred. This moment is already enough. I am already in alignment with what I seek. When you start your day from a place of thanks, you shift your identity. You're no longer a seeker, hoping something good might happen. You're a receiver, walking in the vibration of already having. And as we explored in Chapter 2, when you feel the feeling before the reality appears, reality must adjust to match it. The morning practice. Here's a simple yet powerful morning gratitude practice to begin tomorrow. Wake in stillness. Before speaking or moving too quickly, place one hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. Recognize the miracle of waking. 3 truths. Whisper softly or think clearly, thank you for this breath. Thank you for this body. Thank you for this moment. Gratitude for the future. Now speak in past tense about what you're calling in. Thank you for the abundance that came through today. Thank you for the peace that guided me. Thank you for the clarity that shaped my choices. Breathe and visualize. With eyes closed, breathe slowly. Visualize your day unfolding with flow, beauty, and ease. See your future self smiling at the version of you who remembered to feel grateful. Seal with stillness. Sit for just 30 seconds longer in silence. Let your body imprint this frequency. This entire practice can take less than 5 minutes, but its effects ripple through your entire day. The magic of returning. Of course, life will test you. You'll get texts, interruptions, headlines, and noise, but you can always return. Gratitude is not about perfection. It's about returning, again and again, moment by moment, to the vibration of thankfulness. So if you find yourself frustrated midday, simply pause and whisper, "Thank you, universe. I remember." Let those words guide you back. Let them reset your signal. Because magic doesn't live in the dramatic. It lives in the daily. It lives in how you rise, how you begin, how you choose your frequency before the world chooses it for you. Your morning is not just a routine, it's an invitation. And gratitude is how you say yes. Chapter 8. Gratitude in hard times. It's easy to say thank you when life is beautiful, when your prayers are answered, your plans are unfolding, and the sun is shining just right on your dreams. Gratitude feels natural. But what about when everything feels wrong? When the relationship ends, the money runs dry, the diagnosis arrives, or silence replaces the clarity you were begging for. Gratitude in hard times is not performative. It's not forced. It's not pretending to be happy when you're not. It's something deeper, quieter, stronger. It is the whisper of the soul that says, even here, something holy is happening. Remembering what chapter 5 taught us back in chapter 5, we broke down the scarcity mindset, the way lack can distort your vision and close you off from receiving. But scarcity doesn't only show up around money or comparison. It also shows up in crisis. It shows up when you feel like life has taken more than it's given. And the only thing powerful enough to break that emotional spell is a different lens. Gratitude is that lens. Not to erase the pain, but to see through it. To begin asking, what might this moment be giving me that I can't yet see? The spiritual warrior's gratitude. There's a kind of gratitude that doesn't rise from comfort. It rises from clarity. It's the kind of gratitude that says, thank you for showing me what I couldn't see before. Thank you for removing what wasn't meant to stay. Thank you for teaching me to trust even when I don't understand. This isn't the gratitude of surface-level blessings. This is the sacred gratitude of the soul's becoming. It's the kind of gratitude Job whispered in the ash, the kind Nelson Mandela carried in prison, the kind Rumi wrote into poetry. Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. This is not naive gratitude. It is spiritual endurance. Why gratitude still works in darkness. You might ask, how can I be thankful when I feel broken? And the answer is, you're not giving thanks for the pain. You're giving thanks through it. Gratitude doesn't ask you to love your suffering. It asks you to stay open. Because staying open is how the light gets in. And that openness sends a signal to the universe. I am still here. I am still listening. I am still willing to grow. And the universe? It listens to that. It responds to the soft strength of someone who's willing to find beauty where it's hard to see. And in return, it delivers something better than answers. Perspective, resilience, rebirth. Turning trials into testimonies. Every person who's lived long enough to see the full arc of their story has said some version of this. What broke me, built me. What I thought was the end was really the beginning. What felt like loss gave me back myself. Your hardship is not the enemy of your manifestation. It's often the refinement of it, the delay, the redirection, the heartbreak. It shapes you into someone who can hold more than you imagined. Gratitude in hard times becomes your alchemy. It turns fear into faith. It turns pain into power. It turns endings into sacred openings. Practice the even here affirmation. When you're in the thick of it, try this simple mantra. Say it as a prayer, a whisper, or a defiant declaration. Even here, I am guided. Even now, I am becoming. Even in this, there is something for me. Repeat it until your nervous system believes you, until your mind slows down, until your heart makes room. Because life is not always easy, but it is always intelligent. And gratitude is how you say, I still trust the architect. Chapter 9. The Thank You Loop. Ask, receive, repeat. There is a rhythm to the universe, a silent loop echoing through every prayer, every manifestation, every fulfilled desire. It goes like this. Ask, receive, give thanks, repeat. It's not linear, it's not mechanical, it's cyclical. Like breath, like tides, like life itself. And the hinge that keeps it all turning is one sacred act, gratitude. Gratitude is not the final step of manifestation. It's woven through every stage. When you ask with gratitude, you activate trust. When you receive with gratitude, you multiply the blessing. When you live in gratitude, you magnetize more to be grateful for. This is what we've been building toward, an understanding that goes far beyond scripting or journaling. Gratitude is not a reaction. It is a state of being that sustains the entire loop of creation. Back to Chapter 2, feel it before it's real. Remember what we explored earlier, gratitude as a precursor to manifestation. By feeling grateful before something arrives, you tell the universe, it is already done. This is the ask phase of the loop, an asking that doesn't beg or doubt, but expects. It's not desperation, it's alignment. You don't need to scream your desire into the void. You need only whisper, thank you with sincerity, and the loop begins. Receiving as a sacred yes. Receiving is not passive. It's a vibration, a capacity, a decision to open and hold what life gives you. And when it comes, your job is not to overanalyze or second guess. It's to recognize, receive, and say thank you again. This deepens the loop. It tells the quantum field, yes, I noticed. Yes, I honor. Yes, I am grateful. Whether it's a compliment, a check, a breakthrough, or a moment of clarity, gratitude turns the gift into a gateway for more. As we saw in Chapter 6, hidden doors open when you walk in thankfulness. And in Chapter 7, morning gratitude sets the tone for receiving all day long. When gratitude becomes your reflex, the loop becomes effortless. Gratitude is the loop's momentum. Now here's the most powerful part. When you live in continuous gratitude, you're not just responding to life. You're generating it. Your energy becomes a signal that's constantly asking, constantly receiving, and constantly giving thanks, all at once. This is why some people seem to be in flow, why they attract opportunities without trying, why their life unfolds with grace. They're not lucky. They're tuned in to the thank you loop. Keep it moving. If your manifestations feel blocked, check the loop. Are you asking from a place of lack or trust? Are you actually receiving what's already come or overlooking it? Are you stopping the loop by waiting to give thanks until you see results? You don't have to force the universe. You simply have to keep the loop in motion. Ask with clarity, receive with openness, thank with your whole being. Repeat. It's not complicated, it's consistent, and it's powerful. Practice the thank you breath. Here's a simple practice to realign your loop, especially when you feel out of sync. Inhale. Ask. Bring to mind your desire. See it. Name it. Feel it. Exhale. Receive. Release resistance. Let the image settle into your body. Whisper, thank you, as if it already exists, as if it's already yours, because energetically, it is. Repeat this breath 3 times. Let your body memorize the loop. Let it become natural. Because when thank you becomes your default setting, the universe moves on your behalf. On loop. Chapter 10. Becoming gratitude itself. Gratitude began as a practice, a thought, a whisper, a moment of pause in your morning. Then it became a tool, a way to manifest, a frequency you returned to when things felt heavy, a shift you could make with breath, with intention, with presence. But now, you've crossed into something deeper. Gratitude is no longer something you do. It's who you are. You've become gratitude itself. You are the signal. You used to try to align your energy. Now, you are the energy. Your presence no longer depends on circumstance. You don't need good news to say thank you. You don't need proof to feel blessed. You carry the vibration of completion wherever you go, and that frequency changes rooms, hearts, and timelines. As we explored in Chapter 4, reality is a mirror. But what happens when the mirror reflects gratitude itself? Life reflects harmony, love, serenity, surprise. This is the final gift, not just the manifestation of things, but the transformation of your identity. Gratitude as a lifestyle. To become gratitude is to walk through life knowing that everything serves. You bless what you understand, and you bless what you don't. You find awe in the simple, sunlight through a curtain, the sound of laughter, a quiet moment in traffic where you remember, I am alive, and that is enough. You forgive more easily. You soften when others harden. You radiate trust in a world obsessed with control because you've learned the truth. Gratitude is not the result of things going well. It's the cause of things going better. The end is the beginning. There is no final step, no finish line. Gratitude is a spiral that lifts you again and again into new levels of awareness. You will continue to ask. You will continue to receive. But now, even in the asking, you are already whole. Even in the waiting, you are already full. The old you begged for change. The new you embodies change. The old you needed proof. The new you is the proof. And the words remain the same, simple, eternal, vibrating across all space and time. Thank you, universe. Thank you for everything. Thank you for me. Thank you is a way of life. You began this journey thinking gratitude was something you did, a feeling, a journal entry, a ritual. But now you know, it's something far greater. Gratitude is a way of being, a frequency, a field, a state of spiritual alignment that magnetizes miracles and reveals the divine in every ordinary moment. You've learned to say thank you before the blessing arrives, to receive the now as sacred, to mirror the universe with your energy, not your effort, to dismantle lack with appreciation, to open unseen doors with the quiet power of presence, to wake each day in thankfulness, and to even whisper it through tears. You've stepped into the loop. Ask, receive, thank, repeat. Not once, not occasionally, but as a rhythm, as breath. This is not about trying to manifest. It's about remembering that you are always manifesting through every thought, every emotion, every vibration. And gratitude keeps you in tune with the highest timeline. It keeps your heart open and your spirit aligned. Gratitude isn't a hack. It's a home. You no longer need to force things to happen. When you live in gratitude, things begin to happen through you. Opportunities flow. People respond. Ideas come with clarity and ease, because the universe recognizes the signal of a grateful soul and rushes to meet it. Gratitude turns you into a vessel for grace, and when you embody it long enough, you stop needing reasons to be thankful. You just are. Thankful for the breath. Thankful for the becoming. Thankful for the journey that didn't make sense until now. You'll walk differently, speak differently, wake up differently, not because life is perfect, but because you have become the person who sees the perfection in all of it. That is power. That is peace. That is presence. One final invitation. So now, take a breath. Let your body soften. Let your heart open wider than it has in days. And say it one more time. Not as a phrase, not as a wish, but as the most honest thing you've ever said. Thank you, universe, for what was, for what is, and for what's already on its way. Because now you know gratitude is not the end of manifestation. It's the beginning of everything.